Welcome everyone to the February 2022 ecosystem all hands focused on growing the Filecoin IPFS and libp2p ecosystems. I'm Colin, and I'll take us through a quick agenda today. We'll spend about 15 minutes doing a broader ecosystem update and then hitting 5 amazing spotlights within the ecosystem working group activity. And then we're super excited to do 4 deep dives led by the NFT.storage team, Estuary, the Storage Fighter Working Group, and the Starboard team. So with this packed agenda, let's get right into it. The Ecosystem Working Group's mission is to seed the long-term growth of the decentralized web by cultivating a wide variety of stakeholders, aligning them with the success of IPFS, Filecoin, and libp2p, and of course, treating them like gold. The ecosystems that we focus on include Filecoin, which is the storage network of Web3, crypto-powered storage network. IPFS, which makes the web work peer-to-peer, and that has become literally the data and content platform for Web3. And libp2p, which is a modular networking stack for peer-to-peer protocols, which has become the underlying networking library of Web3. We have tremendous amount of teams in the ecosystem. New teams kind of pop up every day. This is just a subset of some of the teams that we work with on top of the libp2p, IPFS, and Filecoin stack. And these ecosystem maps are being updated and are, continue to represent the strength of the ecosystems that we support. Now, the ecosystem working group as a whole here is actually comes from over 5 organizations that are uniquely dedicated to growing the Filecoin, IPFS, and libp2p ecosystems. So Outer Core was formed actually in Q4 of 2021, which is a team of about 50 folks purely dedicated to growing those ecosystems. The Filecoin Foundation has been in existence for over a year and a half now, which is purely dedicated to growing the Filecoin ecosystem. Protocol Labs, we all know and love. And then I'd love to introduce 2 new teams to the ecosystem working group. Starboard, which is a team of, I believe, 20 to 25 data scientists that are trying to analyze the most critical metrics with respect to the Filecoin network and publish dashboards to the world. And the NFT.storage team, which is developing a set of APIs and a product that makes it incredibly easy for NFT developers or marketplaces to content address their content with IPFS and back up their NFTs to Filecoin forever. And we'll hear them from there later today. So as a whole, we have over 80 full-time contributors and then many, many more companies and other teams that are engaged in our working groups as well. If you want to get involved, these are the leads with respect to the ecosystem working group. Angie leads our comms and events function. Michelle or Mosh leads our builders function. So if you want to get involved in hackathons or grants or accelerator programs as a developer or an entrepreneur, that's a great entry point. Jeremy leads ARG, which develops Estuary and a whole bunch of other tools that makes it easier to use our stack. HQ leads the Asia working group. So if you're within Asia and want to get involved, please contact HQ. Dietrich leads browsers and platforms, getting IPFS and Filecoin more embedded into native browsers, including Opera and Brave. Alan is leading the Filecoin Green Initiative, which is turning verifiable environmental accounting into a Filecoin superpower. It's incredibly inspirational. Stefan, who we'll hear from later today, leads the Storage Fighter Working Group, as well as bringing more and more clients to our ecosystem. And Brad leads PL Fund, which is a way for companies within the ecosystem to get seed funding. Our growth strategy across our ecosystem working group is focused on ecosystem multipliers, which is on top. These are major initiatives that would create new use cases, bridges to other Web3 ecosystems, and bridges to Web2 users. You can think of these as major categories of use cases that developers can take part in, like video on top of Web3 or IPFS in the browser. In the middle, we have our builders funnel, where we educate and get developers to experience how to use the stack through hackathons, education, resources, and support. In the middle, we turn those hacks into projects through accelerators, grants, and mentorship, and give developers and entrepreneurs the tools to create real businesses. And then on the other end, we try and match them up with incredible investors throughout the Web3 ecosystem so they can grow their businesses. And then on the bottom there, we have our Web3 storage fighters, where we provide tools and resources to help Web3 storage fighters incubate, grow, prosper, and expand geographically. So I'll go through a few metrics with respect to some of those functions there. In the builders funnel, we have kind of a repeatable process of engaging developers through hackathons so they can learn, build, launch, and grow, and progressing them through grants programs and accelerators, which was a pretty successful program in 2021 that we're putting lots of fuel on the fire in 2022. We already have a really strong developer ecosystem. For example, on Filecoin is one of the top 5 most actively developed blockchain protocols, and we have over 9,000 developers that have contributed across the Filecoin GitHub repos, which is almost 2x relative to the beginning of last year. And then with respect to the builders funnel, this is one of my favorite graphs that we tend to look at. These are all teams and startups with professional products that are really betting their future on the underlying stack, either IPFS, Filecoin, or libp2p, or a combination of those technologies. At the beginning of last year, we had about 40 teams in this funnel, and today we have over 330. So we're up about 8 times since the beginning of last year, and up 60% since Q3. Not only that, we experience a different mix. So folks tend to enter as a project or taking part of an accelerator or something similar to that. And then as their project grow, their team becomes more professional, they gain more users, they tend to get more and more funding through seed, Series A, Series B, Series D, and we try and support them through that process. The key strategy for 2022 is not only increasing this in absolute terms, but increasing the conversion across phases through coaching, technical sponsorship, grants, and other functions. In terms of storage providers, 3,800 storage providers provide the Filecoin network with over 15 exabytes of storage capacity. That's over 4 billion 1080p movies. And in 2021 alone, it's interesting, Filecoin consumed more than 1% of all hard drives that were shipped worldwide, which is pretty remarkable given, that the network is just about a year old. On the usage side, we have 36 petabytes of storage with an increasing share of those being Filecoin Plus deals and 1.7 million deals on Filecoin, which is really exciting. And those stem from 2 different initiatives. First is the Web3 space, where Filecoin is aiming to become the storage layer of Web3. To do that, we've integrated with tons of different blockchains, different NFT platforms, and supporting a lot of those collaborations with joint hackathons, joint grant programs to encourage developers to develop across those. So that's a big priority of ours. We've done a really good job in 2021, and we'll continue to do that in 2022. And the success of that is pretty remarkable. As just one data point, we crossed the 40 million NFTs stored on NFT.storage just yesterday, I believe, which is up 2x from the beginning of this year. We had about 18 million at that time, and that's growing 60% month over month, which is an incredible testament to the amount of activity on IPFS and Filecoin within the Web3 ecosystem. Separately, we're also targeting Web2 clients with large archival data sets to demonstrate that Filecoin can really accelerate the transition between Web2 and Web3 and encourage a lot of Web2 style companies and data sets to take part in a decentralized stack. We launched largedata.filecoin.io just about a month ago and have 400 new leads that are actively pursuing Filecoin as a storage option through launch. And so it's up to us to help, guide them through the process, pair them with the right tools, and get onboarded. And in terms of use cases, I'll run through just the wide variety of them. Of course, NFTs are a huge use case on IPFS and Filecoin. Metaverse and games are a huge priority for 2022, and we've gotten tremendous traction within our ecosystem so far. Video and audio is another really big one that our community is passionate about. Consumer storage and verifiability. There are lots of different companies and tools that have emerged to make this really easy. Finance and biotech and even weather has become emerging use cases on Filecoin and IPFS. And Web2 data sets, like I mentioned, there's all sorts of really inspirational ones like Shoah Foundation, climate change data from the Czar Institute from Columbia, Gainforest, and the Internet Archive that are backing up their data sets to Filecoin. So with that, if you're interested in any part of IPFS, Filecoin, or libp2p, you'll probably find a friendly face on this slide and an entry point on either Discord, Slack, or an email address. So email or get in touch, and we're happy to support your projects as a developer or an entrepreneur or just a community member who wants to get interested. With that, I will change to 45-second ecosystem spotlights, starting with Alan on Filecoin Green.
Yeah, hey, there's a lot on this slide because there's a lot going on in Filecoin Green. On the left, we have, a few sort of stats about the state of the network. Colin mentioned that, more than 1% of all the hard drives shipped last year went to Filecoin. That is, roughly commensurate, right, with the scale of the electricity consumption of the network. So yeah, the Filecoin consumes, we think, about 0.6% of the electricity consumption of cloud data centers or of global data centers, and is responsible for, now we think, about 0.7% of global data center storage capacity. So, one, those numbers are large. Two, people are using energy in Filecoin to do something useful, which is to contribute data storage capacity to the network. And three, the amount of electricity that the network uses is roughly commensurate with data centers of similar size. There's a lot of stats that are available at filecoin.energy if you're interested and want to go there. Some recent updates on the right. So Protocol Labs just invested about $35 million into building new solar capacity in the US. And that's really crucial because there are a bunch of ways in which crypto networks interact with power grids, right? And one of the really great things you can do that we've been on top of is connecting Filecoin with renewable energy. So what that means is going to a renewable energy producer, so say a solar farm or a wind farm, giving them money to purchase renewable electricity from them. And so even if you do that, one of the effects that can happen is that you can displace renewable energy that someone else might have used and inadvertently increase the amount of, say, fossil energy that is being used in a local power grid. But if you build more renewable capacity, then you don't do that, right? Because you are increasing the amount of electricity going to the grid, going to this public resource, even as you're using renewable energy. And so with this investment, where PL is putting $35 million into a fund, we're going to be building or financing about 3.5 times as much new solar generation in the US as the network currently consumes. Which I think is huge because we're contributing to this public resource and catalyzing the energy transition to renewables, even as the network is growing and using electricity for something useful in the grid.
Awesome.
We're also, so yeah.
Oh, great. This definitely merits
there's a lot more to check out. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Al. Would love to actually get you on a deep dive for next All Hands because there's so much incredible work here. It's incredible how Filecoin is becoming a green data storage solution and is just becoming incredibly beneficial for the environment. So thanks for all your hard efforts and to your team as well. Awesome. On to ecosystem.filecoin.io, Mosh.
Hi, everyone. If you go to ecosystem.filecoin.io, that is the home of a new website to browse and discover all of the projects building on Filecoin. And it is powered by Airtable form submission. So scrolling to the bottom in the footer, there's a link to the form. There's an editing process. So we just review submissions, make sure they do the best job of showcasing what each project does, what its impact is and reach. Some of the profile pages even have the highlight videos like you can see here. And it's based on a reuse of the IPFS ecosystem directory app that was led by Jessica Schilling and Chris W. So thank you so much to Agency Undone, who are partners here, Yulia and Nicole, who helped keep this project on track, and everyone who contributed data. If you see a project that's missing and should be there, please share. Thank you.
Thanks, Mosh. Appreciate it. We'll go to Rebase, rebuilding Steam as co-op.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jacob from Rebase. We're basically trying to rebuild as many companies as co-ops using Web3 as we can. We're starting with Steam, and we're launching a protocol called Strange Mood. And you can think of the difference between Strange Mood and Steam is that we take 1% for every sale versus Steam's 30. And because we're a protocol, we're governed by our governance token, which developers get for generating sales. Now, if you're going to compete with Steam, you need a lot of file storage, which is why we're here. We've been working with the Web3.storage team, and they've been super helpful. All of our metadata and media uploads were super easy to get onto IPFS with their JavaScript API. And then we even worked with their HTTP endpoints to develop a more custom solution that supports our games being encrypted once, stored encrypted on IPFS, and then decrypted by anyone who holds the token that you get when you purchase a game. We think that this model can be translated to all different types of digital media and licensing on chain. So we're excited to port this protocol to other platforms as well. And we're excited to have Protocol Labs as a partner.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jacob. And with the growth of gaming in 2022, I think we're super, super excited to support Rebase with IPFS and Filecoin over the course of the year. ETH Denver, Jamie, you want to kick things off?
Yes. So quick recap on ETH Denver, which wrapped up last weekend. Incredible event, 10 days worth of events spanning across the build week and the conference weekend. More than 20,000 applications to attend. There was tons of people there. I think everyone was very excited to be back together at an in-person event. Over 4 days of connections, meeting lots of great people at the sponsor booth, 3,500 pieces of swag distributed, our new NFT hats, and Filecoin Foundation had great beanies, tons of cool things there. We even had some cookies. You can see the smiley Filey over there on the right. Also 8 presentations throughout the week, 1 great hackathon in real life and virtual, which is still ongoing, 2 social events. There was a Mixer and Elixir by the Filecoin Foundation, and then our happy hour with Filecoin and Friends event, an awesome IPFS Filecoin and Friends workshop, probably even more things that I'm missing here. There's just so much going on throughout the week, but it was really great. We had somewhere between 30 and 35 people that were there just with our group. So coming up next, we have South by Southwest, which is going to be in March in Austin. And we have 5 days of programming for that. It's going to be 2 days of the NFT house at South by Southwest, checking out the creative and technology sides of NFTs. So lots of great panels and presentations and talks on that. There will also be a sustainable blockchain summit, and then 2 days of NFT Hacker House. So we'll be posting links to all of these with more information in the Filecoin lobby and Philcoms and events. I'll put both of those channels here so you can follow along with them in the chat. And also just a major, huge thank you to all of the people that participated in this. It was definitely a team effort. So thanks to everyone. If I left you off, I'm sorry, but thank you, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie. And just continuing on that, Lucas on the ETH Denver hackathon participation.
Yeah, sure. So we had, as part of ETH Denver, we ran a little hackathon kind of on the side, or not a little, the build week, which is a major component of ETH Denver. We had around 500 participants on site and 171 teams submitted. And just like few things to call out here. So 23%, which was around 50 submissions of the total submissions were submitted to the IPFS and Filecoin tracks, which is amazing and largely over-representative, kind of our share in terms of sponsors overall. So that's amazing. And then you can really see that building with IPFS and Filecoin is a winning formula because 1/3 of all the finalists were actually IPFS and Filecoin projects. And you can see some impressions there on the side of hackers. So it's a lot of fun last Sunday to meet all the teams and get their pitches. And we also ran a workshop as part of the prep. And yeah, lots of great quotes. One is there, which is really just somebody getting excited about the chance to work with IPFS and Filecoin, and yeah, just how like a major event for them. So super exciting, and we're excited to see what people will build now next in the virtual portion of that event.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucas. Super exciting to see how many developers participated, and thanks to all the community advocates that helped folks get onboarded onto Filecoin and IPFS during the hackathon. And finally, the Filecoin Foundation, Clara.
Yeah, so we just wanted to quickly share that our third round of Filecoin plus notary elections is now open. So as a reminder, notaries serve as fiduciaries for the Filecoin network. And they have allocation of data cap responsibilities. They ensure that no party is given excess trust. And then there's also operational guidelines and a record of decision flow and request response. So the application's open this week, 3 days ago, and we'll go through March 4th. And then the following week after, we're going to score the applications and then announce it. And so if you would like folks to get involved with the notary, please visit our blog. There's more information there. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Clara. And for anyone who's listening here, we're delighted to have you participate in our working group. Please email the A-team at protocol.ai if you're interested in participating. And we will see you next month for another exciting update of our ecosystems. Thanks, everyone.